So many of us in church are so quick to judge. Judge people by the car they drive. Judge people by the clothes they wear. Judge people by how they look. But if you don't know somebody's story, if you don't know where they come from, if you don't know their story, don't try to damn their glory. And you know who the first people are to judge other people? Is church folk. I'm through. Let me say this. To whom much is given, much is required. So what I'm trying to say here, if you've been blessed with a lot, and I said this earlier, it ought to make you humble. It ought to make you a person with humility. If you've been blessed with a lot, that does not make you judge of somebody else that doesn't have it. You ought to be thankful for what you have and more generous with what God has given you. I ask the Lord, deliver me from people who like to judge other people. Now, I'm done when I tell you this. The reason why we ought to be the shoutingest folk in church, I mean, this crowd ought to be the shouting as people in the world. You know, people criticize us because we carry on like this because, you know, other churches don't carry on. But listen. But when you have a story like her story, she's in a mental institution, depressed. But God delivered her and brought her out, and she in church tonight. When you got 60% of your congregation living with HIV, not dying, y'all didn't catch that, but living, and living well. So good you can't even tell they got it. Living. T-cell count is undetectable. Somebody didn't catch this. But when you got folk living, and you know hundreds and thousands have died, but you living with HIV, we have a right to praise God. And you ought to help. When you see somebody praising God, don't criticize them. You might need to help them. Get a praise partner and help them praise God. It just might be that God has saved them from a death experience. You don't know why and how people come to church. We would have never known her story. We would have never known his story. We would have never known her story if they had not told us what they had been through. When you see people shouting and praising God, don't sit there talking about it don't take all that. I've seen people in Tabernacle look at your clock. Well, I wish they'd turn that music down. I wish they'd stop. But if you've been through hell and high water and back, you have a right to praise God. When you know where your help comes from, you have every right to pick them up and put them down. Pick them up God bless you. We're going to shout in just a minute. But if you know that you know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has protected you, that God has provided for you, that God has strengthened you, that God has given you power, if you know that, we're going to have a little praise party in here. And I want you to give me some praise music. Before we leave here now, I was at Bar One Sunday night. I was just there because I try to support my member. And folk were dancing. Sumitra, she was there. Coretta, Coco, she was there. The minister, she was there. The elder, she was there. But what I noticed is that most people, if they danced, they had a partner. And they were, they were all up on each other. I was just sitting there looking at them, You know what that means when they dance on each other. But what I want us to do tonight before we leave here, we got a couple of minutes. I want you to find you a praise partner. Come on. Everybody find a praise partner. Maybe this person will help you dance. Those of you that... There we go. Now come on. Pick them up. Put them down. 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 Come on. Come on. Find your praise partner. And let's give him something. Find you somebody to praise God with. Now listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to praise God with your partner for their blessing for 2014. Now come on, praise God for somebody else. Praise God for somebody. Get your partner and praise God. Say, this is for your blessing. I'm praising God for your blessing. Woo! Come on, you dance with somebody at the club. Come on, dance with them at church. Now here we go. You just praise God for their blessing. Now they're going to praise God for your blessing. Now come on, praise Him. Think of His goodness, went on for me. Think of His goodness, how He set me free. Come on, about, come on, praise, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Think of His goodness, went on for me. Think of His goodness, how He set me free. Come on, get you somebody. Ain't no party like a Holy Ghost party. Oh. Come on, praise it. Get your praise on. Woo! If God brought you all year long. Hey! Now you want God to give you a good year next year. Put a deposit on 2014 and give God praise. Come on. Come on. Come on. We about to make it. We about to make it. We about to make it. We counting down. Woo! 47 seconds before the new year. Come on, Private. Come on, you can learn how to dance right now. Think of his goodness, right out for me. Think of his goodness, how he set me free. I can. Think of his goodness, think of his goodness. Think, 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 think. Think of his goodness, right out for me. Think of his goodness, how he set me free. I can. Come on, clap those hands. Here we go. Praise God from who? Oh. Come on, good to praise God. Praise God. There's a Holy Ghost party. We made it. We made it. Happy New Year. Oh, there's some love in this house.